Sup y'all, we're back again, new Shatterpoint video, and this time it's a battle report.
Hey folks, I'm Vic, and today I'm going to be playing the good guys. My first squad is going to be Ahsoka Tano Jedi No More, with Bo-Katan Kryze and the Clan Kryze Mandalorians. My second squad is going to be General Anakin Skywalker, Captain Rex, and a couple of 501st clones. I think the key for me today is going to be balancing the defensive capabilities of Ahsoka and the clones with the pretty serious offensive upside of Anakin Skywalker and the big mobility of the Mandalorians.
Yeah, okay, so Anakin Skywalker is pretty spooky. I'm scared that he's going to slaughter all my minis like animals. Not just the men, but the women and the children.
You have a lot of children in your list?
Not yet, but maybe one day I'll get a little baby Annie. Okay, but for real, I'm going to end this is terrifying. Anakin can pay 2 force to make a second attack against the same target. So pretty sure with that, he can basically one-shot, even though it's a 2-shot, any of my units. So yeah, not looking forward to getting slaughtered. Alright, hey everybody, I'm going to be playing the dark side half of the core set. For my first squad, I've got Lord Maul, Gar Saxon, and Mandalorian Super Commandos. Then for my second squad, I've got Asajj Ventress, Kalani, and the B-1 battle droids. Okay, so my plan here, if you've watched our Kill Team videos, you already know, is to be extremely aggressive. But for once, I think the team actually really plays into that. Looking at Asajj, she can just jump around the map with basically no issue. And Maul can deal damage to himself to just like run up and pull a guy toward him and just murder them. So I'm just gonna try and do a lot of damage and wound a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, longtime viewers of the channel know that Brad's at his scariest when he's allowed to just be ridiculous and aggro, and this team really kind of leans into that. So I'm here for it. I'm definitely worried about Brad just running up and killing me and winning before I have a chance to think.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah.
Alright, so for this game, we're going to be using almost all of the terrain that comes in the Shatterpoint core set, and we've set it up like this. In addition to the various buildings, gantries, and scatter terrain, we've also got a few ladders that will act as ingress points, and they're set up here. Next up, we roll off to see who will be the first player, and that's going to be me.
Next, we deploy our troops, starting with Brad going 1 squad at a time.
First, I deploy Asajj Ventress and her squad.
Then I put down Ahsoka and the Mandalorians.
Then I put down Lord Maul and his squad.
And then Anakin and the clones.
So I draw a struggle card for the first struggle, and I pull Locate the Asset, which activates these objectives.
So we looked at the card sideways and activated the wrong objectives, but we didn't know at the time, so no one really gained an advantage, so we're just going to live with it for the first struggle.
Yeah, we fixed it for Struggle 2, don't worry.
Before we really get going, want to say a huge thank you to Atomic Mass Games for sending us this early review copy of Shatterpoint. If you're interested in checking out the updated rules, the assembly instructions and everything, hit the link in our description and it's all there.
Yep, we also have a how to play video. You can find a link to that in the description of this video or in the top corner of this video right now. And now we get right into it. Alright, well finally, we're into the game now. So I'm going to pull my first card, and I pull Lord Maul. I don't really want him right now, I'm going to save him for later. So I'm going to pay 1 force to put Lord Maul into reserve. Then, I draw my next card, and that's going to be Gar Saxon. So before anything else, Gar's Pride of the Mandalore tactical ability activates. I get a free jump with one of my other Mandalorians, so I make that now. Then with Gar, I'm going to make a move action and advance toward the center of the board. And then I'll use 1 more force point to activate his jetpack ability. I'll jump up next to this ingress point, allowing me to move up to a higher elevation and take control of this central objective. Then, with my last action, I'll take cover, so I'll gain a hunker token and be shoved range 1. Then, at the end of my turn, I do take control of this central objective, but since it's the very first turn of the game, I don't score just yet.
Alright, well with my first turn, I draw Bo-Katan. So, similarly to Gar Saxon, my turn will start with a free jump for Pride of the Mandalore. Next, I'll use a move action to advance to the closest objective, ending close enough to this other Mandalorian so that I can do Mandalorians are stronger together to make a free focus action. And then, because of my ability Mandalore will survive, I can make a free dash attack, and then take a shot at Gar Saxon. So at the end of that, I'm left with 2 successes, so I'm able to deal 3 damage to Gar and jump up onto the central objective to contest it. Unfortunately, it still remains under his control, so I'm only going to move the struggle token 2 spaces at the end of this turn.
Alright, I'm up next, and I pull Asajj Ventress. First up, I'll make a move action and advance toward this central objective. Then, I'll pay 1 force token to use Dathomirian Dexterity. Like Gar, this will let me jump to the ingress here and then move up top. Finally, I'll make a combat action targeting Bo-Katan. Pretty money roll here, and I'm left with 5 successes. This lets me give Bo a strain token, expose token, and a disarm token. I also have 4 damage in my damage pool, but because of Bo's ability, some of us serve a higher purpose. She has protection 1, so she just takes 3. In addition to all of this, I also moved my damage track far enough along to have a free ability activate. So I'm going to use Force Push, which usually costs 2 force for 0 force, Victor. I'm going to completely yeet Bo-Katan off the edge here, and I am down to 3 force now, but man, it feels good to be a gangster.
Well, now I draw the Clan Kryze Mandalorians. First thing I'm going to do is an advance action with both of them. One will move up to beside Bo-Katan, and the other one's just going to move along this gantry to get a better shot. Because of Mandalorians are stronger together, they both get a free focus action, and then I'm going to take a shot. They're both going to target Gar Saxon because I'd really love to wound him here. From the first attack, I'm left with 4 successes, so I do 4 damage and 2 shoves. Luckily, I also get a pin and an expose, so those might turn into some more damage later. The second Mando's now going to shoot, and I only get 3 successes this time, so I'm going to do 3 more damage, 2 more shoves, and a pin. That's enough to wound Gar Saxon, disarm him, and toss him off this gantry.
Alright, well, next up for me, I draw my Shatterpoint card.
Yikes.
Well, Asajj is so aggro, and she's already halfway up the board, it feels like a waste not to take advantage of her position. So first up, I'm going to advance to engage Bo-Katan. Next, I'll make a combat action targeting Bo-Katan. Not a great roll, but not a bad one either. I'm left with 3 successes, and that's going to deal enough damage to Bo-Katan to wound her. Then, with Asajj's ability Sith Assassin, since I just wounded a secondary unit, I'll get a free jump toward this ingress point. And then finally, I'll pay 1 force to get another jump from Dathomirian Dexterity. This will get me all the way to the top of this tower and on top of this objective point. So, at the end of this turn, I'll gain 1 momentum for wounding a unit, and because I control 4 objectives, I'm going to move the struggle tracker 4 spaces toward my side.
Yeah, that was a pretty massive turn. I would have loved to use Ahsoka's Fierce Protector ability, but you were able to dash away before I had a chance.
Yep. We almost started filming it, and then we realized I get to go first.
Alright, well, things are looking a bit grim, but that's alright. Now, I'm going to draw the 501st clones. First, I'll do a move action in advance. Then, I'm going to spend 1 force token on defensive maneuver that lets them dash a bit farther and gain a hunker. With my second action, I'm going to attack Ventress. It's a bit of an optimistic attack because they're not very offensively minded, but I would love to do some damage here. The first attack is pretty good. I'm left with 3 successes, so I'm going to do 2 damage, a pin, and a strain. The second attack is not as great. Only get a couple successes, and I do 3 damage because of the double pin.
All right, at this point, I think it's time for Maul to go. I'm not going to draw a card, I'm just going to pull him from reserve. So first up, I'm going to make a move action and advance toward this ingress point, and then pop up. Next, instead of paying 1 force, I'm going to take 1 damage to use force speed and advance again, although I'm not going the full distance here. Then, instead of spending 2 force, I'll take 2 more damage to use There Is No Place to Run and yoink this Mando toward Maul. They also gain an exposed token. Next, with my last action, I'm going to make a combat action against, you guessed it, this Mando. Alright, lots of expertise here. In the end, I'm left with 2 successes and some direct damage. In total, I deal 6 damage, but this Mando has protection due to Bo-Katan's ability, so just 5 damage goes through.
Well, now, the good news is that I'm going to draw Ahsoka. The bad news is that because of the way Brad has positioned Ventress, I can't get up there to challenge that point and attack him. My base would be overhanging the edge, which is not allowed, so I basically just have to let him stand there and go do something else. So I've kind of given up on the first struggle here, so I'm going to move Ahsoka to the center of the board so that she can have some more defensive control for struggle number 2 and 3. So I'm just going to make my first action to advance and then spend a force token on force speed for another advance. At the end of that, I'm just going to climb up to the top here and end my turn.
All right, well, I control a lot of points, and at the end of my next activation, I'm going to win the struggle anyway. So whatever I do here is just going to be setting up for struggle 2. So I go to draw, and I pull my B1s. So first up, I'm just going to advance toward the center of the board here. And then I'll take cover for a shove and a hunker. Well, Vic, that's the end of struggle 1. I pulled it out.
Yeah, I mean, that was obviously a pretty resounding victory, but once you got Asajj all up into my business, there wasn't a lot I could do, really.
Yep. I'm down to 2 force, though.
Yeah, and I still haven't activated Anakin or Rex, so I've got a lot of play on that side of the board and a bunch of force tokens to play with, so I'm feeling pretty good about struggle number 2. But yeah, it'll all depend on getting Asajj the hell off that elevation. Alright, well now we're going to draw a card for struggle number 2, and we pick We've Been Double Crossed. We've now started orienting the card properly, and I'm going to select the bottom option here because it's definitely way better for me. It gives Brad control of 1 point, but Anakin is just about to cause all sorts of trouble. Worth noting that struggles 2 and 3 will contain priority objectives worth 2 spaces on the struggle tracker. We're not going to show the rolls, but we will be rolling for them at the beginning of each activation and scoring them appropriately.
Before we go on to struggle 2, we wanted to say a thank you to our patrons.
Yeah, the patrons are absolutely the best. They enable us to keep making these videos and keep making them better and upping our production value and stuff. So yeah, thank you very much.
Yep. You know, it takes time to paint up this terrain and all these minis and stuff, and the patrons are allowing us to actually dedicate time to doing those things as fast as we can. All right, struggle 2, Vic. Let's do it.
Great. All right, well, I finally get some good luck, and with the first activation of struggle 2, I draw Anakin. With my first action, I'm going to advance. Then I'm going to spend one of my many force tokens on force jump to get all up in here with the battle droids. I'm going to switch my stance to form 5 because I really want to do some damage here. Now I'm going to do a combat action on the droids. I get 3 successes and do 7 damage and add a strain, which is pretty good. But now I'm going to spend 2 more force tokens on I'm going to end this to end this. And I'm going to attack them again. Do 4 successes, which is more than enough to wound them and pins them. Now I'm going to move the struggle tracker 3 spaces since I control 2 objectives, but one of them is the priority objective.
All right, I have 2 cards left in my deck, so I'm either drawing Kalani or the Mando Super Commandos, and I draw Kalani. Unfortunately, the B1s are out of range to use Roger Roger, so I'm going to start off by just advancing. Then I'll spend a force token to remove 1 condition from the B1s using Tactical Network.
It's weird that Tactical Network isn't your tactical ability.
Yeah. So I'm removing the pin there. Then, with my last action, I'll make a shooting attack toward Anakin Skywalker. I just get 3 successes here, so I deal 4 damage and shove Anakin back a little bit. And now it's Vic's turn, and he goes ahead and draws his Shatterpoint card. And it's not exactly a surprise here. He chooses to activate Anakin once again.
With my first action, I'm going to advance and then spend 1 force token on force jump so that I can get up next to Kalani and contest this objective. I would love to bring Kalani down here so that I can score all these points. But unfortunately, I only do 8 damage, a strain, and a pin. So Kalani's left with 2 wounds, but I'm standing here pretty menacingly, which feels good.
Okay, I know what's coming. I draw my Mando Super Commandos. First up, I advance toward Kalani and Anakin.
Kalanikin.
Then I'm going to spend my last force point to jetpack a little bit closer. Finally, I'm going to make a combat action, and the first Mandalorian will make a melee attack against Anakin. But I get a crap roll. Anakin just rolls well too, and no successes go through, so nothing happens. Then my second Mandalorian will make a ranged attack against Anakin. A bit of a better roll. I end up dealing 3 damage and put a strain token on Anakin. Unfortunately, Victor used his deflect ability here, so the Mandos take 2 damage. At the end of this turn, I do control the priority objective, so I'm going to move the struggle tracker 2 spaces toward my side. I didn't get to move it back onto my side though, so I'm also going to get a momentum. And then, to round out my turn, I shuffle my order deck and refresh all my force tokens.
All right, well now it's finally time to activate CC7567 Captain Rex. So, with my tactical ability, I'm going to do a free dash and gain a hunker. Then I'm going to spend 1 force on defensive maneuver for another dash and another hunker.
What a hunk. All right, now with his first action, Rex is going to make a ranged attack against my Mandalorian Super Commandos, which are conveniently off camera. After rolling, he's left with 3 successes here. He deals 5 damage to my Super Commandos and gives them an exposed token. Then, with his final action here, Rex is just going to move on to this point. Alright, well, I'm pretty much resigned to losing this second struggle, but I'm going to go with Gar Saxon after I flip him over and try and get some damage on someone so I can wound them early next struggle. So first thing I do is switch Gar from being injured to wounded and remove his disarmed token. I'm leaving his pinned because I think I'm probably not going to move here anyway. Next up, I'll make a focus action, which also gives me a hunker token because of Gar's I've got you in my sights ability. Then, I'm going to make a combat action and shoot the Clan Kryze Mandalorians. After bad rolls and good saves, only 1 success goes through. How tragic. Thanks to Bo-Katan's Some of Us Serve a Higher Purpose, only 1 damage goes through here, and I can't even use my shove. I wish I could have wounded these guys, but now your Clan Kryze Mandalorians are also down at 1 HP.
This member of the 1 HP gang is brought to you by Mope Roadkill. Thanks, Mope Roadkill. After refreshing my deck on the last turn, I draw Anakin again. So, with my first action, I'm going to recover to remove this strain, and then I'm going to attack Kalani. I get 5 successes, which wounds Kalani easily, and then triggers my ability, This Is Where the Fun Begins. Because Kalani's a secondary unit, I can now move the struggle tracker 1 space towards my momentum tokens, and then at the end of the turn, I run the table with all the objectives and win struggle number 2.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
Yeah, I got
3 Anakins.
I only activated Anakin and Rex that struggle.
That's kind of hilarious.
That felt like a Clone Wars episode.
I do feel though that this might have set me up for a good struggle 3 because now like you've just refreshed and already used Anakin.
Yeah.
So the only way you're gonna get to use him again is when you draw your Shatterpoint. So that might give me an advantage here.
Absolutely. And I spent a lot of resources to make this struggle as fast as possible. So I'm over on this side of the board. Ventress is still sitting on her vantage point.
Yep.
And there's a good chance that you're going to be able to select a struggle that just lets her keep sitting up there.
Well, I think I will. I'm going to draw a card and I come up with Blast Our Way Out. So, this was actually, it took me a second to consider both options, but I ended up going with this layout here. And, Ventress has got this point secured. You're going to have to commit some resources to get her off of that. And I think I can manage to get the other 2. So, yeah, I think I'm looking decent going into Struggle 3. You know what else is looking decent, Vic? This dank skirmish mat.
Huge thanks to the folks over at Skirmish Mats. They sent us this brand new 3-foot by 3-foot Desolate Dunes mat, and it is so perfect for this game. By purchasing one of the mats using our affiliate link, it's a great way to get yourself one of these extremely cool gaming mats, and it also helps us out a lot. So check it out in the description, save yourself some money, and help out us.
Yep. Thanks to Skirmish Mats. Affiliate link in the description. Struggle 3. Let's do it. All right, Vic, I'm ready to blast my way out. I draw Ventress. But I kind of just want her to chill here. She has no ranged attack. I don't need her to move off the point she's on. So I'm going to put her in reserve for 1 force point. And then I draw Maul. So first up, I've got this Mandalorian right up in my business. So I'm gonna fight. I get a good roll. I easily Shrek you.
Yeah.
Destroyed. Plus I give you a strain token. I wish I could have shoved you, but Steadfast is still in effect from Some of Us Serve a Higher Purpose. That ability is strong, dude.
It really is.
But at least you're wounded. Then I'm not going to take 1 damage here. I'll spend 1 force token on force speed, and then advance subsequently to get on this active objective here and try to get some points on the board. So at the end of my turn, I've gained 1 momentum, and I've already moved the struggle tracker 3 points toward my side.
Yeah, Struggle 3 is off to a bit of a rough start for me, but we'll see what happens. First, I'm going to draw my clones. So I'll spend a force token on defensive maneuver so that they can dash and hunker. And then they're going to do a focus action and attack Ventress. So my first one is going to do 4 successes. Brad gets a pretty bad roll, and so I'm going to do 3 damage and then finally shove Ventress off this point. The second one attacks. I only get 2 successes here, so I'm going to do 3 more damage, and that wounds Ventress.
All right, well, I have Ventress in reserve, Vic.
Ugh.
So I'm just going to immediately activate her, go from wounded to injured, and remove a strain token. And then with my first action, I'll make a move action, which just does nothing except clear the pin token. Then I'll use Dathomirian Dexterity for 2 force, because I'm injured, to just jump right back up and take this point back.
That's really good for you.
Then with my last action, I'll take cover. I won't move at all, I won't shove myself, but I will gain a hunker token and allow myself to have cover from being up this high. So good luck.
Thank you. This is where the fun ends. Well, now I'm going to draw my Shatterpoint card, so of course I'm going to activate Anakin again because he's just been a force of nature in this game so far. So I'll spend 1 force on a force jump and then advance towards Maul. I'm going to attack him and get 4 successes, dealing 8 damage, a strain, and a pin, and that wounds Maul. That activates This Is Where the Fun Begins, so I get to move the struggle token as soon as I wound Maul. Then I get to do a recover action on all Galactic Republic units. Unfortunately, most of them have taken no damage, so, whatever.
You have 5 momentum already.
Yeah, I know.
Could you actually win this?
Yeah.
Dude, I have a bad feeling about this. Bad feeling. Okay, next up I draw Kalani. First up, I'll flip him from wounded to injured and remove his pin token. Then, with Roger Roger, I'll dash with my B1s just to move away from Rex. Then, with my first action, I'll make a combat action and shoot Anakin. I'm not going to clear my strain, so as soon as I do this, I just take 3 damage. So, I roll this shooting attack, and I'm only left with 1 success, so I just deal 2 damage, and then I take 2 from deflect. Bruh. Alright, next up, I'm just going to move over here and join Anakin and Maul, and I'm just close enough to be contesting this point.
Well, now I'm going to draw Bo-Katan, and if all goes well here, I have a chance to not only knock Ventress off the point, but jump up there and capture it for myself. So, I'm going to start by changing from wounded to injured and remove my disarm token. Then, with Pride of the Mandalore, this Mandalorian will jump over towards Ventress. Now, Bo's going to do an advance action to the ingress point, but unfortunately take 3 damage from the strain token I still have. Since I'm now close enough, I can do Mandalorians Are Stronger Together for 1 force to do a focus action and take a shot at Ventress. I'll need 4 successes here to get the crucial shove, but unfortunately I only get 2, so I'm going to do 3 damage and pin Ventress and can still not jump up there.
Okay, next up, I draw my B1s. First, before anything else, they change from wounded to injured, and I removed their strain token. Then, I'm going to make a combat action, and both droids are going to shoot at Anakin Skywalker, adding 1 attack die for each attack due to Kalani's Concentrate All Firepower ability. Alright, so first roll is crap, and I deal 1 damage. I also take 2 damage from deflect.
Nice.
Second attack is a bit better. I'm left with 3 successes, which is just enough to wound and expose Anakin. This also allows my droids to reposition, so I'll go ahead and do that. I almost could have won here, but Ahsoka has an ability called Fierce Protector. This let her advance towards the B1 that wounded Anakin, and it gets her on this point with Rex, and it means that I don't take it. So I'm so close, but I couldn't end the game here.
So close.
Then with my last action, I'll advance both droids towards this middle objective, and it's a party over here.
Yeah. Well, now I'm going to activate my Clan Kryze Mandalorians. First, they'll change from wounded to injured and remove their exposed token. Then, with their first action, they'll do a move to advance near Bo-Katan. I'm going to spend a force token on Mandos Are Stronger Together so that they can focus and take a shot at Asajj. Really need that push to go through. The first attack does enough to push and bring her all the way down to 1 HP.
This member of the 1 HP gang is brought to you by Eddie Elswin. Thanks, Eddie.
The second attack only does 1 success, but it's enough to wound Asajj and push her basically off the edge of the board, which is fantastic. Then I'm going to spend 2 force tokens on Jetpack to finally capture this objective.
Alright, I draw a card, Vic, and I get my Super Commandos. So first up, I'm going to advance, and then I activate Mandos Are Stronger Together to get a free focus action. Since the Commandos have Impact 1, I'm going to be making melee attacks with 8 dice here. So I roll both attacks. I deal 5 damage in total to Ahsoka, but unfortunately, I don't wound her. I do take control of this objective, but I'm 1 point away from winning the game once again. If I had wounded Ahsoka, I could have pulled it out, but so close, I just can't close it out.
Now I draw CC7567 Captain Rex. My momentum is all the way as far as it can go, so I actually do have a chance here. First, I'm going to use Get a Move On Soldier to dash back and hunker with Rex. I'm going to do a focus action and take a shot at these droids. I easily wound them for the second time and then shove them back. Using my reposition, I'm now going to move back onto the point and control it and bring the struggle tracker only 3 spaces away from victory.
All right, Vic, I know what's coming. I only have 1 card left. I draw a card and it's my Shatterpoint card. So I'm going to activate my Super Commandos. Shockingly, not a primary, but I think these Super Commandos can get the job done. They're already both engaged with Ahsoka, so first off, I'm going to make a focus action. Then I'll make 2 more 8 dice attacks and hopefully wound Ahsoka and take the game. I managed to finally wound Ahsoka. I'm going to get that 1 momentum I need. Then I'll use my very last force point to move this 1 Mandalorian onto the point. The other Mando is just within range, and that's 2 bodies to Vic's 1. I take this point, and I take the struggle, and I take the game.
Wow, GG.
That was extremely close.
Yeah, it really was. And, I think that if I had taken the threat of Asajj on the elevation more seriously, could have been a different game, but I thought that was really back and forth and a really fun game.
Yeah, what a great time.
One thing I really love about Shatterpoint is how much it feels like Star Wars.
It really does.
Like, at the beginning of Struggle 2, when Anakin just, dashes down half the board and shreds 6 battle droids, it really just, felt like a scene out of Clone Wars, You
just
could see,
as the prophecy foretold.
You could see the, orange glowing droid parts in your head as that happened.
Fantastic.
But yeah, great game. Nice to finally have a battle report under our belts, and we're really excited to bring some more different lists and keep playing Shatterpoint.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment letting us know if you want to see more Shatterpoint, because we want to know what the people want.
Absolutely.
We'll see you very soon with some more Shatterpoint, some more Kill Team, and some more Who Knows.
Peace.
Peace, y'all.